What's going on, guys? My name's Daemon, and welcome back to another episode of Demon's Declassified Minecraft Survival Guide. Now, in today's episode, you can see I've cleared out a lot of room down here. There's a random villager just sitting there in a minecart. But this area, I think, is going to be my trading hall. I decided rather than trying to build a building up here above ground, and so many villager sounds, rather than trying to build a building up here above ground, figure out the rail line to get something up here in the building and move the villagers around, I decided I'll do it underground. Now, that's going to do two things. That's going to make it extremely easier for me to run the rail lines to get the villagers to the trading hall, and it will also help me be sure that nothing is going to spawn and kill my villagers after I've already locked in their trades and gotten the trades that I want them to get. I've been doing some trading off camera with this guy. I've gotten him up to max. He's got a name tag. His prices are a little bit rough, but once we get to the point that we can make Splash Potion of Weakness and convert him to a zombie and back, these trades are going to be really, really nice. Now, in doing this, I learned something that I didn't know before. I learned that once you trade with a villager, it locks his trades regardless of whether he has a workstation or not. So I could trade with this guy and then bring another guy up here next to the same workstation. He'll lock into that workstation, give me different trades, and this guy will not go away, no matter if I stick another workstation or not in front of him. So, to complete this villager trading hall, there are a few things we absolutely need. Now, this trading hall system that I'm using doesn't use any redstone on the ground. It requires redstone for the observers, but it doesn't use redstone on the ground to send a signal. So this will be a pretty easy setup to get finished if I do say so myself. But we're going to need a few things. We're going to need observers, regular pistons, a lot of redstone dust specifically for the observers. We're going to need either redstone blocks or redstone torches to run the powered rails once we get to that point. We are also going to need a cactus and sand to break the minecart when the villager reaches the point that we want him to go into the villager trading system. And one more small thing that we are going to need as well are some trapdoors. Now, I'm gonna roll with oak trapdoors because I don't have any spruce right now. I like spruce trapdoors better, but you gotta work with what you got. So first and foremost, we gotta figure out exactly where we want these villagers to be sitting. So if I'm bringing the rail line in here, I will need a 1 block gap, and then I can place the villagers. So in this spot right here, we're going to need an observer. So we need to clear out some room back behind here. I believe it's just a 1 wide by 3 deep by 4 tall, I believe. We'll know for certain in just a moment. But first we need to grab our observers. We'll put that in the offhand. We're going to mine down here. That way I can properly place the observer. So wherever your villager is going to be sitting, you're going to want an observer facing upward. And I'll show you why in just a moment. It's not a difficult thing to explain, but it does take some understanding. So with observers, this little face looking thing right here, it watches for block state changes. Now, block state changes can be something dropping in front of it, something dropping onto a trip hook wire, a piston changing, a block moving, a block being placed, a block being destroyed, and it will send an output signal of redstone to the block behind it. But in our case, we're going to be placing a pressure plate on top of it, and anytime something steps on this pressure plate, it's going to send a redstone signal. But instead of using redstone, we're going to have observers watching the previous observer. Now, this does make like a one pulse tick, but it's not a big deal. If we were using sticky pistons, it would be a big deal, but since we're using regular pistons, it's not as big of a deal. So we'll place an observer watching the observer the pressure plate is on, and then an observer watching that observer, and then we're just going to make a pattern here. and we're going to put it up to, and then we want our pistons. Where are our pistons? There we go, right there. Take our piston, we'll face it forward. Now anything that stands in this location will activate that piston. And like I said, it's a 1-tick pulse, and it is a problem if you're using sticky pistons, but it's not a problem using regular pistons. All right, so that's pretty much the entire villager containment system done and dusted. So I'm going to place blocks here to cover the observers. And then if I place a block here, here, and one in front of the piston, and then those trap doors that we made earlier, if I place that on the ground, anytime that something hits this pressure plate, it will push out this block and turn up this door, and then the villager will not be able to escape. You can't walk out of this. There's no way. The villager's going to be stuck because it activates this trap door with the pressure plate, and then activates the piston to push the block over the head of the villager, so there's no way you're going to get out. Now, if you want to make this system to where if this villager were having crappy trades up in the top tiers and you wanted to get rid of him and you wanted to kill off this villager, if you wanted to make it to where this block moves back automatically, then you would use a sticky piston. A 1-tick pulse on the sticky piston would reach out, grab the block, pull it back. And then when something falls in, it pushes the block out, pulls the piston back. You can do that. You can also just do it manually if you need to, but there isn't a way to automate this completely. So I'll place that block back there. And now we need to look at getting our villagers over here into this system. So that's going to be the relatively easy part. If we take and we just raise this one more block, and then we're going to have to do some more digging out here. We'll dig out this area a bit more. If we take this and clear out the area just a little bit more, put a block here, and block here, you can forego this block if you'd like to, but we need to extend this out even more over to our rails, and I need to get this guy back on a rail eventually. Do I have the rails in my inventory? I do, so we'll fix that real quick. If we just place a rail here, he'll pop up on it. And I'm going to have to push him up that ledge. Go. Thank you. Appreciate it. So we're going to also have to dig out this bit here some more as well. I want to try to keep the villagers coming in from being visible. So we're going to kind of hide them in the ceiling to begin with. Now once we get a little bit further, my plan is to tier this down. So I'll have a row of villagers on top, then another tier below that, and then just keep tiering it down and even further every time, depending on how many villagers I'm going to have. So we got to do some clearing out to get this rail ran up here and hidden away, which isn't a difficult thing to do. I'm just take all of this and take that, put back so I can get up here. So I'm going to need the rail line to be sitting above this point, which good, ain't a hard thing to do. Placing some blocks, dig that out, and we need to get this guy up out of our way. There. There. That'll work. And then we're just going to push this guy up the hill out of our way. Please, sir, I need you to move. Thank you. Stay there. We'll clear out these rails and then build this up even all the way across. Not forgetting to put lights in because, geez, this is dark. Put a few torches in here. One there and one there. That'll work. Now, if you remember, I distinctly said we're going to need trap doors, and what? And it's not just because of the containment cells. It's also because we need it for the villager transport system to take the villagers off of the rails. So I'm going to slope this down here. Place that. And then the rail stops there. So the trapdoor will be placed right here at the end of the rail on the top of this half block, or top of this full block rather. And then past that, we'll dig out one more, ensuring that we take this block and this block and this block, because we are going to now need a cactus. So if we place this cactus down, when the rail car runs into the cactus, it will destroy the minecart and the villager will get spit off right there, and don't walk into cactuses. So now if I show you this, once he hits that, he pulls off, he drops into the hole, it pushes the block out. Now we're going to switch these full blocks over to half slabs, because then the villager can just walk across it, and it's a lot easier. So that's the basics of that setup. Now I'm going to go and get some blocks and make this look a little bit better, because the cobblestone just looks absolutely awful. So I'm going to go over here and grab some of my stone out of this chest, turn it into some stone brick stairs. And we'll just go with, I don't know, like 16 for now. That'll work. I also need some slabs. So let's go regular stone slabs. Put that in our inventory. And we're going to swap this block really, really quickly out with some slabs. If you're fast enough about it, when you break a block, you can immediately replace it. So now with that slab there, any villager that pops off here can walk across it, walk into the next chamber, and just continue down the line from that point on. And it's not a perfect system, because the villager doesn't auto track towards a workstation. But if you spit a villager off here, he'll eventually wander his way that direction and drop down a hole. I'm trying to figure out, and I'll do some testing, but maybe if you put a bed at the end, the villager will try to find the bed. And if the villager will auto path to said bed, that will make things easier. But for right now, we'll do some little bit of testing here with blocks. I want to be able to hide this rail. We'll do that there. Yes. That's a center block. So if I put the smooth granite, polished granite, maybe give it a pop of color. But if I do that, I'm going to have to do it here as well. There we go. Oh no. I just realized I forgot to light up the path up inside there. I don't think that looks too bad. That could be a continuing theme all the way across, and then once I clear this out more, I can put some pillars of wood and stone pillars and just make it look a little bit more reinforced, like it's holding up the cave ceiling. That's going to be a solid choice. Now that we've done a little bit of work on this, we're going to segue slowly into another part of a build that I need to get finished. Hopefully it's daytime. I would hate to go up here and it be nighttime. It is daytime. So, excuse you, because we are using, because we're using librarians, we're going to need a lot, and I mean an absolute lot of books and paper and things of that nature. So to handle that, we are going to go and also work on a sugarcane farm. Now for this sugarcane farm, I'm gonna need a few things. Do I have the iron on me? I do not. Go away, Mr. Creeper. Now I've gradually been growing sugarcane over here already. Just letting it grow on its own, coming over here manually harvesting it when I get the time to do it. But we're going to set this up to be automatic rather than trying to do things the manual way. So everything's basically set up here the way it needs to be. The sugarcane are going to go on these corner or on these 2-block gaps here on the edges. The corners are not going to have sugarcane on them. And for this little bitty build, we're going to need a couple of things that we already actually have. So we're going to need observers, pistons, and a bit of redstone, as well as some rails and a hopper minecart. So we've got everything but the hopper minecart, but I got a hopper in here. We can make the minecart real quick. There we go. There's that. We got the powered rails, redstone blocks, everything pretty much done. So we're going to build up this center area here, and we want observers facing outward towards the sugarcane itself. So we'll just place a temporary block and then do that all the way around. Placing an observer facing every sugarcane, because these observers are going to watch for the sugarcane to change, and then when it does, it's going to do something special. Now, you can choose where to put your observers. If you want more sugarcane output, which I kind of think I do instead, I'm going to move these upwards instead of where they currently are. Instead of doing the observers first, we're going to place our pistons first. So we're placing the pistons right above the bottom block of the sugarcane, because sugarcane grows 3 blocks tall. When it grows to that 3rd block, it's going to be seen by the observer, and it will fire off our piston here and break our sugarcane. So we'll go up here, and now we'll place our observers facing towards where the sugarcane is going to grow. And as I said, when it grows, it's going to fire off a pulse. We'll just place some redstone down here. And when that goes, any of these sugar canes grows to 3 tall, it will read the observer, light up all of this sugar, or all of this redstone, firing our pistons, breaking our sugar cane. Now we're going to need to get our collection system for the sugar cane set up, which is a fairly easy thing to do. We just need to break out some blocks here so we can set a minecart rail. There we go. Our trench is dug out. So we'll want a redstone block in this corner or on this edge, a redstone block on this edge, and a redstone block on this edge. That way we can place down powered rails. So we'll go ahead, we'll grab our redstone blocks, place them down in these gaps that we just made. And then across the top of that, we're going to need our powered rails. Place a rail on top of it and a rail next to it underneath the sugarcane. And then the rest of the way around, we are going to use regular rails. But we're not going to place the ones here yet. There's something else we need to do there first. So we'll just fill in these areas. There we go. All right. Now in this area, instead of a redstone block and powered rails, we're going to need a hopper. Now we've got another hopper in here. We'll go ahead and grab that. So we're going to break this, and we're going to place the hopper going into this block, and that's where our chest is going to be sitting. We shouldn't have broke that grass now that I think about it, so we'll just throw another block there. Then we'll take our rails and we'll run our rails right across the top, and that'll create a loop. Now we can go ahead, place down our hopper minecart, and if we just push it along, it will forever run in a circle. It'll just continually run, and anytime that this sugarcane's broken, that hopper minecart will pick up whatever falls onto these blocks. So now that we've gotten the rail set up, we'll just place down a chest here, properly connecting the chest, because we don't want individual. There we go, double chest. But to ensure that everything gets picked up by this minecart, we're going to need some glass. I'm gonna go sleep real quick and grab some glass. We've got the glass in hand, and we're going to head back over here and get things set up. Now, some of you guys may have noticed the dirt. I had a little bit of a creeper incident off screen. I didn't die, but it blew a hole and like half of my cows got out. It was a nightmare. So with this glass, to make sure that nothing falls anywhere that we don't want it to, we're going to just place glass that encases all the way around our sugarcane in the areas that we don't have something behind it or next to it. So we'll just go all the way up to the height of the sugarcane, all the way around, and then we'll put a wall around the outside as well to ensure that the blocks fall straight down. Place that all the way around, and I may have messed up here. Nope, I've already put glass. Awesome. And then we'll just grab our cobble and we'll fill in these gaps just for OCD's sake, just to make sure everything's consistent. Go. Now, here in the front, we'll just place a full block. It doesn't matter what it is. It can be a stair, it can be whatever. You can decorate this however you want to decorate it. And then we're going to take our glass and cover in front as well, all the way around. And then that's pretty much everything. Now keep in mind, you can do this with any type of block. It doesn't have to be glass or cobble. It can be anything. So I'm going to hop up here and make it think that the sugarcane has grown. So where... okay, well, we'll just use a temporary block right now. We'll just use a piece of glass because I don't have any more sugarcane on me. So the second the sugarcane grows and goes in front of this observer, it's going to fire all the pistons all the way around, break the sugarcane, and then drop it down into the blocks next to the bottom. And the hopper minecart going all the way around will pick it up and dispense it into our chests. There we go. Now, with that being done, we're going to go ahead and end this episode here. In the next episode, we'll probably work on getting some netherite, working a little bit more off screen on the villager trading hall, and planning out some builds for this little bitty sugarcane here as well. So with that being said, I'm going to sign off. I love you guys. You guys are amazing. I appreciate everything you guys do. If you haven't, feel free to drop a like and subscribe. And there goes the sugarcane thing working as intended. And I hope to see you guys in the next video. Peace out.